This video will demonstrate how to replace the starter on General Motors full-size trucks from 1999 to 2006. It'll cover US and Canadian models of Chevy Silverado and GMC Sierra model pickup trucks from 1999 through 2006 and 2007 classic models. It covers the Chevrolet Suburban and Tahoe, GMC Yukon, Yukon XL, Sierra Denali, and Yukon Denali 2000 through 2006, Chevrolet Avalanche 2002 through 2006. This specific one, this is for 2- and 4-wheel drive gasoline versions of the engine, and this particular model I'm working on today is a 2005 Chevrolet Silverado. Alright, here's some of the tools you're going to need. You're going to need an 8mm socket to take off the negative battery terminal to disconnect that, and also got a longer 8mm socket. That one's to disconnect the solenoid terminal bolt. We're going to need a 13mm socket. That's to take off the bolts that actually hold the starter on. And then also an extension comes in handy as well. Additionally, what I used, you don't have to, that's the good thing about owning a truck, is you don't have to jack up the truck, but I did because it's a little bit easier to work on. You don't have to jack it up. You could easily get up underneath there without having to jack it up. And always good to wear eye protection, because when you're up there taking off the cables, and there's going to be a lot of dirt and dust falling around, and you don't want that to get in your eye. And also, yeah, having a good pair of gloves. That's why I always like to wear gloves when I'm working on, just so I don't have to scrub my hands that hard when I get done. This is a starter that I picked up from O'Reilly Auto Parts. The cost was $149, plus there's a $10 core charge. So what the core charge is once you bring the old starter back, they'll give you $10 back. So the total amount after tax was $170.71. You probably could get a better deal on Amazon, but at the time I just kind of want to get this done as quick as possible. And this is what the starter looks like out of the box. First thing you want to do is pop the hood. You just pull this lid. And the hood latch releases right here. You just take this, push it to the right, and it pops up your hood. If a malfunction occurs in the starting circuit, don't immediately assume that the starter is causing the problem. First, check the following. Make sure you check the battery cable clamps where they connect to the battery. Make sure that these are clean and tight and free of corrosion. This is a pretty new battery. Another thing you want to make sure, test your battery as well. Make sure that the battery's not the issue as well. This is a pretty new battery. I just put it in a little while ago, so it's I'm pretty sure that's good to go. You could probably get to the starter without having to jack up the truck, but I like to just jack it up anyways to make sure, get you a little bit extra room. So again, if you don't have yourself a floor jack, you probably don't need it, but if you can squeeze underneath there and get to it, but if you have one, it just makes life a little easier. So on the right side of the vehicle, the starter is right underneath here. You can see I got some hammer marks from beating it. So that's the other thing too, you know, if you were stuck in the parking lot somewhere, just take a hammer to it, so you can get it going. On the V8 models, there'll be a bell cover housing that you'll need to remove. And that's right here. So that needs to come off. Alright, now that after you get the starter down, you move it forward towards the front of the engine. You pull it down, and then you disconnect the smaller bolt to get that off. That's the solenoid terminal, and then you disconnect the battery. Alright, and here's the, we have the old starter I just took out, and here's the new starter that we're going to put in right now. I noticed there's a lot of, there could have been some possible oil leak, and there could have been oil, because I noticed when I took out the bell housing cover on the transmission that it was kind of loose, so there might be oil that's going into there. But and also the size of these for the solenoid, that's gonna be an 8mm for that, and then that one is for the battery, that's a 13mm. And you're probably gonna need like a longer socket to get to make sure that you can reach all the way up in there. And also what you can do is you can take off this protective shroud. It should just pop right off. That just slides right off, and then move that on, pop that right into here. Alright, now that we got this cover put back on, what the plan is now, let's go back underneath, connect the battery, connect the solenoid cable, and then we're gonna bolt this thing back up, putting those the bolt right there, and the bolt right there, and then that should do it. Now I'm going to reconnect the negative battery terminal by putting this the screw, connecting it right into there. Alright, and you can get in there with a 8mm socket. Make sure it's all snugged up. Alright, next step, close up the hood. Now, the moment of truth. Fired right up. We're all set. I always like to put the parking brake on too whenever jacking up the truck. Alright, if you like the video, subscribe. This is just a test. I'm just going to see if might make more videos, see how this goes, and then might be a continuing thing. Just let me know, comment, subscribe. Appreciate it.